Okay, second day trading. The first day was on Tuesday the 29th. Skipped yesterday, I had some other things to do, and then sort of got back, and the amount of races left wasn't great, so I decided to just leave it for the day. This is the 2:15 at Wetherby. It's a 2-mile maiden hurdle. About 3 minutes to the off. It looks like the favourite here is steaming in. So we may well see if we can just take a move with that as it comes in. It's at a crossover point as well. It's just steamed straight through that. Wow. It's got some real momentum. It's come in all the way from 3.6. We might just load up some stakes here at 3.05 and see if we can get taken if this bounces back. It looks like a very volatile sort of market though, all things considered. This horse has been well backed in. We've got some money matched there at 3.05.
Here's number 4, Quiet Flow, at 15 to 8, and has increased his difference between himself and Spirit of the North. They've flip-flopped early on, with Quiet Flow originally being 11 to 4.
Let's just mute that because it's a bit loud. We'll just see if we can get taken out if this dips back in again. It may well drift back to where it was, in which case we'll look to exit around 3.15 perhaps. A very, very volatile market. Odds of all these horses are all over the place. Drag this up perhaps. See if we can get these matched again. So we can put an extra couple of stakes in here and just catch a move. Perhaps. There you go, an extra little scalp. These sort of markets where they're bouncing around quite a lot are quite good if you can sort of determine sort of top and bottom of the movement. So here we're looking potentially at sort of 3.2. If we can get taken as a good entry price, and 3 to 2.96 is quite a good exit. Looks like 2.98 is perhaps where it's stalling. Oh no, it's pushed all the way in again. Wow. Put some more stakes in here and just see if we can catch another small movement again. Possibly. Looks like this is generally trending down below 3. There's quite a lot of money built up. Sort of generally this sort of stake, if the market was going to sort of settle around 3, would be at 3.05 to just grab a tick or two, but this is really pushed in. I'm going to cancel all of those and then just hedge up.
20 seconds.
We'll hedge there, just grab that. Not a bad start.
10 seconds.
Admittedly, probably traded a bit too soon on this market because I hadn't really got any idea. I hadn't really had a chance to just get a feel of what was going on. Literally started the recording and then jumped in. Very, very volatile market. Interestingly though, quite a large volume traded. So not really sure why the volatility. On to the next race. Okay, next race. This is the 225 at Lingfield. It's a 7 furlong handicap. The initial thoughts is we've got a very even market in sort of terms of the first or the front 3 runners. They're all trading at 6.4 currently. Touch price. We've put £10 in at 6.6 here. Looking at these graphs, my initial instinct is that perhaps this will possibly be the one that comes in. Both of these have drifted throughout the day, and sort of recent volume, match volume, has pushed these out. Gonna keep a close eye on it though, because it may be that where this has come in during the day, that actually once the money starts to move into this market, it will push it out and correct itself. I've put a speculative position in, but I'm going to close that at 7, I think, if it doesn't move with any purpose inwards. I'm going to put exits in at 6 as well. I'm happy to take sort of, what would it be, 3 ticks there. It would be a reasonable, quick trade. Might well happen actually quite quickly. Some very volatile markets today. Token trade has just gone on a huge drift from 8 to 10. It seems like A up its jazz has come in response. Let's get the right horse. Oh no, I misread that. Ruth Latu has come in response. Got 4 horses now, all within that sort of 6 to 7 area. We probably will start to see some money coming in the next couple of minutes when the previous race at Weatherby finishes. Looks like this little scout might just get taken here, hopefully. Yep, there we go. So that's broken through 6. What I'll just do is lay this at 5.4 here, on the basis that it may well come back in, as it generally does. The market will sort of spring back after breaking through a crossover. Oftentimes anyway, this may be the one instance it doesn't. There we go. And we can look to perhaps back it in again at 6.4. Take a tick out at 6. So we put another marker in at 6.6. This I suspect will be quite a volatile race again, just because of the closeness of these runners. There we go, I got taken at 6. Looks like A up its jazz has gone on a drift again. Quite a big drift. It mirrored this actually. Wonder what happened there. That it looks like the Orner gatherer might have caused that. Yeah, there was a big backstake came in here. And generally with the Betfair's cross matching, where there's insufficient liquidity, or where it will take the book over round too far away from sort of 100%, it will cross match and you get sort of these effects where you get a big jump on one horse that reflects, and it's reflected in 2 or 3 others. It looks like Mythical Star is continuing to drift. Don't know whether Naughty Nadine may come back in. It's at the top of its sort of traded range. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong horse, having just moved it. Although it is still at the top of its traded range, and quite good volume traded. Let's put a bid in there of 5. See if that gets taken, and then whether it comes in a bit. Might well push in. Again, we'll just put a position at 6.6. The market's sort of up and down a little bit, so it may well just touch that and take it. Looking to just sort of improve skills a bit with trading in small small ranges as the market moves one way or another. Again, this has broken through 6 and has gone on a little flurry, and we may well be able to lay it here and take a move back towards 6 perhaps. Lay it at 5.3 and see if we can get a couple of ticks out. If not, we'll close it at 5. I'll close that. Looks like this is going to come all the way back in, and we can see that the gun dog has done what I thought it might do. It's come in so far and has gone out now. These markets are sort of swinging the other way. This has come in a huge amount quite quickly. What I do is put a position in at 5.3 and 5.2. We've got a sort of traded range here where there's quite a bit of volume, although it looks like this is continuing to steam in a bit. Let's just bring up the feed now. This may well settle now around 4.8, 4.7. I think the market's taken most of its movement there, I think. What we'll get now is a small correction. We'll lay at 5 and just see if we can take a tick out there, perhaps. You'll get, as we get close to post time and the horses being loaded in, people exiting positions that will take up some of this liquidity, hopefully, get us matched.
Seconds.
Any second now. Just make sure we've got start price on that, if not. Horses is just being loaded now. This would have been a good horse to lay, actually. Went on quite a long drift there, from 6 to 8.2, touched 8.6 at the top. Doesn't look like that's going to get taken. We'll just see if we can get out where we went in at no loss. And just make sure we're hedged up. Yep. Not a bad market. I think we got quite lucky in the fact we were in earlier. We took a bit of advantage of the sort of movement, just continuing in slightly. I think if we'd been a bit later, that would have moved against me, probably. But interesting market. One carried on drifting, one that had drifted out most of the day came back in, and one that had come in quite a way had drifted out a good bit. I think this is the sort of horse Peter Webb sometimes talks about, where it's quite obvious the horse has been backed in all day, and then we'll just go on a slow, gentle drift out. 6 to 8 is quite a large. It wasn't especially rapid. On to the next race. 240 at Warwick. Okay, race number 3, the 240 at Warwick. 3 mile, 2 furlong novice handicap. Just been sat watching it briefly. Navigown Gate has come in from about 6, I think, to sort of 4.6, and has then gone out to 5. Does look like this is perhaps being the one that's backed in at the minute. See if we can just take a small movement, perhaps if we get matched at 5. Looks like Pottle Wrath has also just taken a huge amount of money in. It's been backed in. I think what we might actually be best served doing is just taking a lay position on something like Money Spinner here. Just see if we can take a drift out. We'd imagine with the pressure of these two horses pushing in that this will struggle to come in. Take another position at 5.2. Just a couple of positions out. You can look at perhaps moving this one further out if it carries on out.
These races over shoulder.
Just mute that. Looks like the market's reluctant to lay this at this price though. Possibly this is at the top of its traded range here. Just keep an eye on it and close out if it's not. Keeping an eye on what the rest of the field's doing as well. These seem to have stabilised a bit now, so maybe that this will hold steady around where it is and just let it run a little bit longer. We can exit at no loss at the minute. Okay, we're going to close that position now. The second favourite went on a drift again whilst this came in. We didn't get the read right on that, so we just exit the position, scratch the trade. Looks like this is travelling back out to 6. Might be worth watching this though, because this has travelled out from 4.5 when it hit before. Maybe the market won't back that in beyond that point. We'll just move it here so we can keep an eye on it. We open a couple of positions just slightly outside of the current touch point. Again, just on this upper side. You've got about 40 seconds to post. Don't think we're going to get matched here on any of this.
20 seconds.
Keeping an eye on the Betfair videos just off screen as well. Looks like they're lining up, so we're going to cancel there. Slight loss on that race, but not anything too drastic. On to the next race. I'll be back just slightly closer to the off. Okay, this is the 250 at Weatherby. Looks like a 2 mile 3 furlong hurdle race. I'm not sure what the sell is up here. We'll have to look that up after. Got quite an interesting race by the looks. We've got a very short price favourite. And then as we typically see, you've got quite a short price favourite, medium, slightly longer, and then out. Looks like currently the outsider here has come in a little bit. We took a small trade at 14.5 and then just to tick out at 14. Looks like the second favourite has gone on quite a long drift. whether it will start to come in response to this favourite possibly bottoming out at some point. Looks like third and fourth are coming in a little bit as this has gone out. Just trying to determine perhaps what position we want to take on this market, if any. We could simply back the favourite as it reaches up here, on the basis that it may well travel back down to 1.7 again as it gets backed in. Though it looks like it's being laid quite heavily at the minute. Looks like now perhaps would be the time to get on it to come back in if it is. Put a couple of extra stakes just along the way. See if we can get some of these matched. Bring up the Betfair video as well for this race, 250 at Weatherby, just so we can keep an eye on what's going on the actual course. Looks like there's some resistance against this horse at the minute, but we'll just hold our position a little bit longer. We get a few ticks out perhaps. If this market comes back in, I think the worst case scenario here, we exit at 2 if it goes out too far. To be honest, probably not even that far. It's quite a volatile market though. This fourth favourite is coming in quite far. Don't know just how much momentum that's got though. Does look like this may well go out to 2. There will come a point though where the market feels that this is a good enough price that it will back it back in. Make sure we've got a start price taken on some of these. There's quite a big lump coming, 3k. It's taking out one of our bids. Does seem like there's some sustained pressure coming back in for this horse now. So we may well get some of these positions taken again. Trading around sort of our average touch point just at the minute. I'm happy to just let this run a bit longer. Just see if we can gradually siphon out some of our stakes here. Just sort of scout this market as it moves one way and the other. Looks to be somewhat trending inwards. Quite whether it will come back in down here, I doubt. But we've moved our green hedge position slightly further up the ladder, which is good. Might bring some of these positions up to a more reasonable level. We've got 20 seconds to the off. Bring these right up.
10 seconds.
So we can take an extra couple of ticks out as well. We just had 5 matched there.
0 seconds.
Another 5 match there, 5 match there, 5 match there, and there, and there. They're still lining up to go. They're just entering the course now. Just make sure we've got a start price on all of these. Big chunk taken out there. I think we'll just hedge up there. Not a bad result. Quite a lot of money come in the market there. Going to push this right back in. Possibly we're a little preemptive there. We could have got an extra couple of ticks, but this is literally seconds from going off, so I'm happy with that result. Not a huge amount, but we were trading quite a short price favourite, so very, very small amount per tick gained. But not a bad result. On to the next race. Okay, this is the 3 o'clock at Lingfield, 7 furlong handicap. Not much traded yet, 46,000. Got about 8 minutes to the off. Probably won't see much action until that previous race has finished. Initially looking at the market, we've got quite a short price favourite that's been on the way in. It's gone on a slight drift recently, but seems to be coming back in. Sort of traded at 2.8, 2.75 by the looks. Second price horse is a sort of mid fives currently. Although it's been on a drift all day by the looks of it. Possibly one to watch to see if it comes back in. Might be the same as a couple of races ago where we had sort of two first and third favourite had been coming in all day. Second favourite drifted, and then they effectively switched sort of 2 or 3 minutes to the off. Just going to keep an eye out for some signals of that happening here, sort of money being backing the horse in and lay money coming in on these two. Outside of that we've got a horse at 9, and then the rest of the field is sort of trading by the looks of it about 12, 14, and then 25 and up. Looks like the Mad Monk is being backed in a bit at the minute. Just keep an eye on how that affects the rest of the field to try and get an idea of, if we see it drifting, perhaps where to look for horses returning in. It looks like this favourite will probably near the bottom of its traded range again, and then it'll be interesting to see whether it pushes through or whether the market retaliates again. Got a slight move in on safety first. Possibly not a huge amount, but still worth noting that that's possibly going to come in. Looks like it opened at 4 and traded as low as 3.6, although not massive stakes, admittedly. Open a couple of positions just there on the basis this bounces out to 3. It's got potential to come back in again. Got live feed already for the race. Still not very much traded at the minute though. I want to eventually switch over to using BetAngel, just because it's got more information in terms of just physical numbers, how much volume is being traded and sort of how that's ramping up. I think just generally as well, it offers more features. Just need to get used to using it. Basically started by using this market or this software. So it's what I'm used to at the minute, but I'm gradually sort of trying to switch over and using BetAngel a bit more. Just watching the horses come out now. Just keeping an eye out for sort of any obvious signs that the horse is sweating up and things. That can cause a bit of a price drift. Safety first has gone out a bit there. Hard to say whether this will continue to drift or not. It does seem to be that whenever it gets sort of backed out to this level, it comes back in again, or laid out to this level, it comes back in again. I was saying that it has sort of bounce come in, and seems to be trending upwards. Lay position might be the way to go on this. The favourite's still being backed in. There's quite a good bit of support for that as well. This is still being laid. Be interesting to see what it does at this crossover point here actually. So we've got these two horses now at the same price. Looks like Royal Signet is possibly going to be backed him through 6. A big steam on there for Vintage Fashion. It's currently on the feed. And the favourite's gone on a long drift there. Just get some of our positions matched here. This is near the top of its traded range, so I'm quite happy to take those. A few ticks out. It was taken before I could move it. So we can get that out at 2.68 again. It worked quite well in our favour there, having left those in. I think we were quite low in the queue. Oh no, never mind actually, because I matched. I think had we been just slightly in, we'd have got those matched, but generally it's generally not good practice to sort of back just below the crossover point, because you get far more value being 2 ticks above. If it comes in, you get the 0.2. If you back here, if it comes in, you get 0.1. So for the sake of a couple of ticks, generally you might just get matched. You get much better value for it. Vintage Fashion has been backed way in, from 9 to 7. Looks like that's continuing as well. Favourite's drifting out a bit. We've got 50 seconds to the off. Let's see if we can take an exit point here. There we go. Not actually a huge amount traded on this race. Can't remember whether Lingfield is generally sort of one of the lower quality circuits. I think it is, from memory. It's an all-weather type course, which generally are not the best quality racing. quite a good opportunity for sort of a trade here, just at 3, which is near where we entered, and down at 2.64 exit. Would have been quite a big move. But we're going to go on to the next race. It's going to be in about 15 minutes, so I'll just pause the video for a short while. Okay, this is the 3:15 at Warwick. We're about 5 minutes to the off. I've put 4 or 5 pound stakes in at 2.1. We had a very large chunk of money sat just here that wasn't moving in response to sort of lay bets coming into the market. So it seemed like genuine money. It was going to push this market in a bit. So we've opened a position at 2.1 for about £20, and we'll just try and tick our stake out. It does look like this horse is going to have some momentum to come in though, past 2. There was a large chunk just got matched there. Take some positions just above. It's gone straight into 2 and taken what was there. Whether it will carry on through 2. Possibly will. So we'll open the position at 2.05 because again this is quite a good place to just scalp where we can. Pretty even pressure on both sides of this book here, so we can scalp quite comfortably, I think. Ooh, apologies. There we go, matched and taken. Let's see if we can just get taken again there. Looks like this has possibly lost some momentum to get through, but we'll hold here, I think. See if we can get a few ticks through this market. Not paying a huge amount of attention to what else is going on here, just because you've got such a volume matched against this horse and it seems to be sort of fairly stable in price. I'm not overly concerned that this is going to go on a long drift very quickly anyway. Drifting a little bit there, but it seems to be coming back in again. Drifting a little bit there. Just going to leave our position open just for a minute. His second favourite's coming in a bit now. Just going to keep an eye on how this moves. Just make sure we've got a start price. We're about a minute to the off. Still seems to be quite a lot of money backing this horse. Although as it gets closer to this 2 mark, the pressure does seem to balance out. There you go, we've had that taken. Slight profit there. See if we can lay this at 5 now and just see if we can catch a move slightly further out. Don't think this has got the pressure to get through 2. There's no real downside to laying at 2. We lose 0.1 or 0.01 of a tick. We'll gain 0.02, which is an ideal scenario for trading because we've got an edge. More so than using software and everything else, it gives us that additional edge.
0 seconds.
But there's more upside than there is downside in our position. I'm going to scratch that now and just £1.88 for that. Just using £5 stakes. Again, on quite a short price favourite, so not a huge profit, but quite a good move there that we took. On to the next race.
Market in play.
This is the 325 at Wetherby, 1 mile 7 furlong handicap chase. We've got a shortish price favourite at 2.6, and then 4, 4.5, 4.6, and then 12 now. This horse in the last minute or so is coming from 2.7 to just touch 2.5, I think. Seems to have some sustained momentum to come in, so we can open some positions just outside of current touch point, try and get a good price to back the horse in at. The second price favourite's trading relatively flat. Third price, quite difficult to tell, seems to be on a slight drift. Only just, though it may well be coming back in. We missed this here, that's coming again through 2.5 into 2.4 and broken new ground and is still going. Cancel those positions, and then what we may do is look to back the second favourite here as this bottoms out. Apologies about Discord. Just bide our time here. Wait to see the market start to possibly swing back the other way. We can take the move with it. If it does. If not, we need to exit our trade.
Is the 5 to 4 market leader here for?
Just mute that for a minute. We've got about 2.5 minutes to the off. Seems to still be drifting. Still drifting. We probably will need to close this position shortly, I think. Just see if we can put a hedge figure in, just so I know how much I've got in the market. 65. Just give this a minute to run. There's really sustained pressure on backing this horse in. The market's moved somewhat back in favour of us here. Had some of our stake taken out, a bit more. Hopefully we get this matched here. There we go. I was a bit nervous there, but that really did seem like it was the top of its traded range, and this will only, to some degree, keep up pressure before it eventually has to. It eventually will give, just because the value is too good to lay the horse. As you can see, the chart, it's come in on a gradual, and it's just slowly starting to tick out again. A drift on the third price favourite as well help this back in a bit. May well get some value to lay this now, perhaps.
10 seconds.
£5 stake. Perhaps not. Let's see.
0 seconds.
4.8. No, I'm going to scratch that. You occasionally will just see a slight sort of tick back near the off. We were probably slightly preempted our closing position, but probably was overexposed in that market, and I think should have exited sooner than we did. Just because we've got a good result doesn't mean it was the right decision there. I think I possibly was a bit early in getting into the market as well. We didn't have any confirming signals that this was going to drift back out again. It was more luck than judgment, I think, that result. But we'll go on to the next race. Okay, this is the 3:30 at Chelmsford City. 1 mile 2 furlong handicap. It looks like the horses are getting lined up, ready to be loaded into stall shortly. I completely misclicked that there. Didn't mean to. Scratch that. Oops. Got a relatively short price favourite that seems to be coming in a little when it's heading towards a crossover point.
Welcome back to Chelmsford. We're about 3 minutes.
Sorry, just mute that. Favourite is, or the second favourite is just come in quite a bit, but it looks like it may drift here. It's coming a long way, but the money seems to be pushing it out now. We've got a relatively, I say relatively flat, it's traded relatively flat at its two prices. We've got two sort of peaks. Blazer 2 that's gone on a long drift. Possibly is heading back in though here. Let's see if we can get a tick or two out. See if this gets matched. Scratch that trade. Oh, this has gone on a long drift. Just paying attention over here and missed this. Favourites coming in by the looks. I think quite possibly we'll break 3 here.
Seconds.
See if this comes. It's backed in just before the off. The horse has been loading now, so I'm watching the live feed just to make sure we're on
10
top of that.
seconds.
Otherwise we might need to close this out.
0
Oops.
seconds.
Misclick there, but just make sure we take start price on that just in case we miss it. There's a few horses playing up at the start. Just wondering whether this is going to have enough pressure to actually come into 3 here and match us off. Doesn't look like it will, but we'll give it. Still, they're taking their time to load, so we've got a bit more time to sit and wait on it. Possibly it will get matched here. Yeah, there we go. Wondering why we've got a slight mismatch of. There we go, that's better. Oh, this came in quite a bit. Wow. That's really been backed in. Again, possibly some value in just a lay bet here. Put that down just see if we can get a slight tick.
Market in play.
Actually, ended up going off in play. We might get that matched. Just drop it down to 2.8.
To the inside of those two is Supersonic. Further 1.5 lengths away to Casa Ruin, with racing on that one's inside Impossible Possible. And another 1 length back, the yellow sleeves and cap of Lake Sand, together with Shadow Angel. It's a further length away to Merweb. Right,
just going to close that trade out. It looks like the horse is possibly going to win here.
To last, and the back marker is Catch My Breath under Laura Pearson. They race down the far side then, and Boasty leads the way under Stevie Donahoe. Shows out in front by the best part of 3 parts of a length, I'd say, from Sly Madam in second. Paddy Elliott, Blazer 2, Thunder Road, all very much close up. Then Fen Tiger, Supersonic, and Impossible Possible. Casa Ruins next from Lake Sand. Then Merweb and Shadow Angel, Aljamana.
In-play trader generally wouldn't do, but it just looks like this horse has got out of the gates really well. It's a short race and it's running very well.
The way back towards home, then about to race inside the final 3 furlongs of this opening contest, and Boasty leads up 1.5 lengths over Sly Madam and Thunder Road. Paddy Elliott and Supersonic, and then Blazer 2 is right in behind there. Getting a bit of bumping about there just there behind the principals. Lake Sound trying to make ground a bit wider out along with Fen Tiger as they race inside the final quarter mile. Boasty from Thunder Road. These two kick away from Supersonic and Blazer 2. Then Casaroon and Lake Sound and Catch My Breath trying to finish off from the back, but not many have got involved. It's Boasty who leads. Pressed by Thunder Road inside the final furlong. It's Boasty is out in front now under Stevie Donahoe. Looks like making much of the running, and will go on to take this opening race in clear-cut style. Boasty from Thunder Road in second, Lake Sand in third.
That's a result.
Ahead of Casa Ruin, Catch My Breath and...
Okay, this is the 350 at Warwick. We're about 2.5 minutes to post time. Horses are just coming down now. As you can see, it's quite a volatile market. Horses are a bit all over the place. This third favourite's caught my eye because it seems to be just gradually coming in. Might just see if we can take and get matched at 6.6 there. Most of the money seems to be on this favourite. Again, we might just put in a couple of bids here. Because again, this has come up to this price and has come all the way in again. Let's just see if we can scout that, because I don't think that's going to do too much actually. Matched it. This looks like it's possibly going on a bit of a drift. Possibly have made a mistake backing this as we have, because it seems to be going on a long drift. Looking at the feeling, I can't quite see any reason for it. I have to scratch this for a bit of a loss here actually, by the looks. Just let it run for a minute or two. We're about 50 seconds to post time, so it might well be offering good enough value that it will get backed in a bit here. Probably not though, looking at it. Just turning the volume on so I can hear.
Solid proposition, I think, and he's probably a horse that's going to have a pretty good summer. Whether or not he wins today, we'll see. But I would say he'll be on the go through the summer season, and he's a horse probably to keep on the right side of through the summer campaign.
20 seconds.
Final look at the full market, 11 to 10, head lower 92, Madiba Passion from 11 to 2, Independence 5 now to third favourite.
That in
Just
itself
trying to
quite
scratch the trade, a bit of a
10
loss there.
because last time you
Not
was a
ideal,
mark.
but probably should have. Well, I don't know.
0
Just
seconds.
tended to sort of double down on that position there, which probably didn't help. I think I might call it there for the day though.